what I want to talk about is go through some examples of past, current, and future ICOs, only 4 of them, to see basically 2 things. First of all, what are current ideas of application of blockchain in the energy and industry, and second of all, how the landscape looks like right now. So the first example is the Grid Plus that we talked about already. And Grid Plus raised around $70 million US dollars, if I'm correct. I had to extrapolate it from different news sources because, well, the exchange changed within a year so much that it's not really easy to establish how much they are actually getting. It depends on the fact if they sold it right away or are keeping the Ethereum that they raised. And their model is, as I said previously, based on 2 tokens. The one is a grid token. This was the ICO token that was sold to investors. And the grid token will be, its utility will be in the allowing people to buy energy from Grid Plus at the wholesale price. And this is a problem, I think, at least from my perspective, because there has to be a lot of demand for energy through the Grid Plus to let people get back their investment of $70 million. So there would have to be a lot of customers that would want to get the energy cheaper. And the second one, the second token is Bolt. Bolt will be stable token pegged to US dollar. As I said, it was done in the Ethereum platform, and they will be also getting money from the Bolt token from allowing the people to transact in this token. And they have a custom hardware. It's called Intelligent Agent. They have a very nice render and a prototype. And the idea of this intelligent agent is that it will operate on in the name of the customer and work as the customer in the interest of customers. So it will try to buy and find sources of cheap energy. It will also try to optimize if the customer, for example, has a Tesla power pack. It will load the Tesla power pack in the peak interest when the prices are the lowest, and use the energy when the prices are the highest or when the power pack is full. There is also possibility of returning the energy from the power pack when the prices are higher. So it enables some kind of arbitrage on the energy. I do not know how viable it is from the technical point of view, but it is an interesting concept. Like doing arbitrage on the energy market through your power pack is something that is quite interesting, actually. And their technology has some other different interesting things. I just need my notes. Okay, so an example that they gave in their white paper is energy the arbitrage through the power pack would generate around $3.50. So it would give you within 6 years return on investment on the power pack itself, which is pretty big because when you think about power pack, it will be the return on the investment from the power pack with using solar panels will be somewhere around 10 years, if I remember correctly. So it would optimize further your investment on the batteries. And okay, so this is Grid Plus. Grid Plus is pretty interesting, and they probably are the biggest ICO on the market right now that I could find. And the next one is Power Ledger. Power Ledger is from Australia, as we talked previously, and they raised around $25 million, which is quite a lot smaller amount than the Grid Plus, and I think they are actually a little bit more interesting because they already have a working business, already had a working business when they started their ICO. They have better value for the utility token, and they also have different kinds of tokens. The power tokens will be the backbone of the network. They will be like everybody who wants to create a local solution will have to buy grid tokens to create something called Sparks. Sparks will be pegged to other currencies to enable local trade in local currency on the local energy market. And then we will have, they are actually focusing on creating a platform of applications and not a single device that will allow them to apply this technology, this network to a lot of different things. And also they are inviting some external partners. So they are not the only company that has interest in the network. It's also very interesting. And they didn't do any special hardware. They are just integrating with existing smart meters. So it is also more viable because this way they are able to integrate more customers quickly. And as Paul said before, well, with Grid Plus, you have the device that costs around $50, and then you have a deposit that costs $50. So just to connect to Grid Plus, you would have to pay them at the beginning of the cooperation around 100. So it's pretty big investment. At least considering that the average price for the average payment for monthly payment for the energy in the states that they want to operate is around $50. So you have to pay 2 months in advance to actually use their service. Okay, another one is WePower, and this is an ICO that will be in the future. They want to raise at least $5 million. Did not specify how much they want to raise total. And what they want to do is invest in the renewable sources of energy and let them to be created. And they will charge the companies that are creating those sources of energy 1% of all the energy produced. So they will be paying back its investors through the energy that the network produced, that they've financed through their service. And investors will get actually future contracts on the energy. And those future contracts will be special kinds of tokens generated for every project. And those future contracts will be traded. So this is what they want to do. They actually have an agreement of cooperation with Lithuania, and they included a signed document in the white paper. Okay, so this is what WePower does, and the last one is Prosume. Prosume is actually a decentralized energy market. What they want to do is they want to enable different parties to trade on the blockchain. They actually did not specify clearly how exactly their platform will work, which is a very big negative, because, for example, Grid Plus and the Power Ledger, they actually specified how their platforms will work. And Prosume did not, but they said that they will be cooperating with local markets and create a mobile application which will let you buy the power directly from different people, and there will be different cryptocurrencies created as well. So there is one common thing about all those companies. All of them need stable tokens. All of them will create some kind of cryptocurrency to facilitate the exchange, which is interesting because every single one of those companies will use different cryptocurrency, and I see a need here to have one stable token that will be used and not just one for every company that wants to do some kind of trade on the blockchain. Okay, there are also some other interesting ICOs that I stumbled upon that you could look up. The first one is SolarCoin. It's not actually an ICO. It's a coin that was created by a foundation to incentive solar energy producers to create more power plants. And what they do is they are giving those solar tokens for every one solar token for 1 megawatt of energy produced through the solar. And they have companies that agreed, or some people, to give some different services, different bonuses to the producers. I don't know if it will work. It's at least an interesting concept. Okay, there is Envion. They are actually doing something similar to Mateusz's company. They are doing mobile cryptocurrency miners in the on the cars, and they are actually moving them between different places. They can set up them near the power plants and stuff like that. There is SolarDAO. It's a very simple investment fund focused on solar power. So, and we have Charge, which is a little bit different than everybody else, because what they are doing is they are doing crowdsourced charging stations for for electrical vehicles. So you will be able to give your power to cars that will just park on your spot and charge, and you will get money for it. Okay, so that was a very quick overview of existing ICOs in the industry. Actually, I think that it's not that much of them. Comparing to financial services and other areas, I think that a lot of companies are actually working with their own funds because you need at least some contact with bigger companies to do what is required to do. But if anybody is interested, then go on and invest. I'm not saying you should really look up. One thing that I should say, I found quite a lot of scams and other ICOs that were not really promising during the research. So you have to be very careful. But there are some interesting applications, and the fact that there is money on the market will probably let those companies at least do some market research and find new solutions for the energy industry on the blockchain. Okay, thank you very much.